Good evening, everybody. I'm just working on a tech issue. I seem to have lost my cameras for some reason. Give me one sec. All right. Somebody let me know. Tell me you guys can see me. I have no idea what happened there, but I seem to be back. Or here in the first place, I guess, because you guys probably didn't see anything. Anyway, welcome to another edition of Rob's Little Blue Book. And I'm hoping the sound is better tonight. I'm trying a new mic setup, new mic position, so hopefully that's better. Tonight we're going to do latkes, which I have not made in a very, very long time. Okay, great. So I'm glad we're back, Rebecca. Thank you for that. No idea what happened there, but anyway, we're doing latkes tonight. I haven't made these in a very, very long time. They're really a wonderful, satisfying food that you can just like eat right out of the pan. It's pretty simple to make. There's a couple of tricks that we're going to go over, but this is the kind of thing you can put together anytime. And since it's a brunch kind of thing, we're going to do a brunch cocktail tonight. We're going to do the Caesar again. The Bloody Caesar. I think we did this a long, long time ago, but I do like the Caesar, and the only other option for kind of a brunch cocktail was like a mimosa or something like that, but showing you guys how to pour orange juice into champagne didn't seem super exciting. So there's a little more to the Bloody Caesar, and we're going to go over that first. So Bloody Caesar was invented by Chell. First name, don't remember. In Calgary, Canada. It was Canadian at the Calgary Inn in Alberta. He claims he was inspired by tomato clam pastas, which might actually be true, but somebody else laid claim to it. And of course, it's an American, which bugs me. But apparently, in the late 50s, another dude, Paul something or another. Anyway, he created the Smirnoff Smiler. At a Manhattan nightclub, which is the first recorded instance of a tomato clam juice cocktail, and he actually put a little bit of Worcester in his as well. So they either co-created or whatever, but I'm sticking with my Canadian buddy because I think that's right. So anyway, that's the history. The drink's really straightforward. We're going to flip over to the food cam here. There we go. Standard highball glass here. And you do, we are going to rim this. You can't see this. There we go. So just get the rim wet. If your drink has a lime garnish, you can just wet the rim with a lime, but this one doesn't, I don't have a lime garnish for this one. So I'm just going to use a wet paper towel. So got a nice rim on that. That's important. This is a built cocktail, so even easier. We just build it right in the glass. Now here's I don't know if it's going to be controversial or not. I mean, I'm not a big vodka fan, you guys all know that. I started a long time ago, and this is a legit variation of the Caesar. If you like vodka, by all means stick to the traditional one. People who like vodka tell me that's a great drink. I have gotten in the habit of using gin for mine, which I quite like. It adds an extra dimension to the drink, and I generally prefer it all around. Wow, now I'm basically out of gin. Okay, there we go. So it's two and a bit ounces of gin. Apparently 2 and whatever I have left in my Dylan's gin. And we're gonna put it in like a pinch of salt, generous pinch of salt. And again, this is to taste. This is supposed to be a pretty briny drink, so you can't really put too much salt in. I put a good chunk of pepper in. And 2 dashes or 3. Again, guys, do these to taste. Make this drink your own. The basics are really simple. Hot sauce, of course, to taste. I like them hot. I like it spicy. This isn't a drink you're going to drink a ton of. So put everything into the one. This is, you guys can't see, an artisanal Clamato mix. And I've tried this before. And it didn't have a lot of punch. So this should be like a straight up mix with all the spices in it. But it was disappointing in that regard. I mean, the tomato clamato part was fine, but it lacked the kick I wanted. So I'm going to punch it up. Make it like a regular Caesar. Anyway, guys, very straightforward, satisfying brunch trick. This is a great hangover cure, or continuation, I guess. That's very strong, so I'm going to sip that slow, but this is just a fantastic drink. I mean, there's a reason this is a classic. It's got some kick, too. Okay, any questions about Bloody Caesar? Pretty straightforward, eh? Let's get into latkes. And latkes are very, very straightforward. We have, so this is my recipe for, I mean, it's like 3 or 4 hungry people, maybe a little bit more. It depends on how you're going to serve them. If you're just doing latkes, you might want to do a little bit more, but this is 2 pounds of russets, more or less. We're going to put in half a cup on onion, so basically probably all this guy. We're going to shred them up. We'll talk about the shredding and chopping and everything in a second. We got 2 eggs. There is going to be some salt and some pepper, and we're going to fry them in oil. So latkes are like almost as controversial as butter tarts in terms of what people like and how they like them prepared. So I'm going to show you the way I like to do it, and I'll explain some of the variations as we go. The first thing we have to do is grate the potatoes. First point of controversy, do you peel your potatoes or not? I don't, because I like the taste, I like the extra earthiness you get from the skins, and it saves me time. So I decided I would do some prep with you guys on stream today, so I'm really quickly gonna shred these. And I use a box grater for this. If you have a food processor that's big enough, you can of course use that, but honestly, like, it's so easy to do with a box grater, and it's so quick. I can't imagine wasting time like cleaning a food processor to do this. But if that's how you roll, go for it. Watch your fingers when you get down to the end. Just gonna leave that guy out. Now of course I'm gonna prep these and we're just gonna go straight through. But where's my bench scraper? If you're not making them right away, you can add a bit of like lemon juice to the potatoes so they don't brown. Or if you don't care if they go brown, then just let them go brown. Like, you're gonna fry them in a pan to golden brown anyway. I've never been that fussed about the appearance of my potatoes pre-cooking. And you can see, like, a box grater will make short work. Okay, the other we didn't even talk about it. I'm using russets here, which I think is right. There's a couple of reasons you want to use russets. First of all, they have a little bit less moisture than other potatoes. And you're going to see in the next step, we're going to have to do our best to take some of the moisture out. However, that is also controversial. Well, actually, that part's not. Most people recommend, and I do it, to get as much moisture out of the potatoes as possible. Some people will leave them quite wet. And the reason they do that is they want to keep the starch from the potatoes. Because it makes the latkes, it binds the latkes slightly and it makes them crispy. However, I'll show you a trick on how to recapture that starch anyway without making them super messy. Anyway, I'm going to buzz through these guys. Again, watch your fingers. You're not going to lose a finger to a box grater like you would a mandolin, but it's a nasty cut from a box grater, so just be careful. All right, do a little onion. Yeah, so apparently, I'm sure she's right, but I have never made latkes for Serena, which to me is surprising, but it's possible. I mean, I'm not, obviously she's not lying. I learned to make these from my first wife's grandmother, Bubby, actually, who was Jewish, who actually wasn't really that nice of a person, but she made really great latkes. And she kind of showed me this method, and I have sort of stuck with it over the years, and it has served me well. Okay, just clean up here. Now, the trick is how do we get the water out? Hey Paul, how's it going? Yeah, you know what? Let me do that real quick. I'm gonna. Well, I normally just eat these right out of the pan, but you know what? Let's get some plates together. Okay, so the first challenge is getting the water out, and it's really easy. You can do this. I'm kind of like yeah, squeeze, of course. Now I am going to do this in one shot, but you can obviously, this is a lot, we'll see how this goes. You can obviously do this in two batches. You want to do it over a bowl, and you just like give it a little twist, and you can see you want as much as you can out of this. Now, one thing that will come out at the same time, of course, is all the starch. I may have overestimated my ability to do one giant batch at once. So, I know this is the problem. I've missed the gym a few days in a row, and now I'm all like, can't even squeeze my latkes. So I am going to do this in two batches, and I recommend you do that too, because the harder it looks. Again, the reason we're using russets here is because they don't shed quite as much liquid as other types of potatoes. And russets also have a wonderful starch. Hang on, that's pretty good. And which is also the reason they're really great for French fries. I need me another bowl here. What am I going to use? Alright, let's unpack those temporarily. Not into that bowl. Alright. I know I said bowl, I actually meant sheet pan. Absorb the inside moisture into the towel. Yeah, but I want the moisture out, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this liquid settle to recapture the starch from the potatoes. So after a couple of minutes, that'll settle, and we'll be able to recapture the starch, which we want as a binder. Now, I've seen a lot of people, again, controversy, some people will use, like will add flour to their latkes to help bind them. Personally, come on, twist. I think that's unnecessary, but it's certainly something you can consider. But these potatoes, man, they just did not these were like dry russets, man. Well, there we go. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that. And you really want to wring them. There we go. Okay. I feel like that's as much as we're going to get out of these guys. So let's put them here. That goes in the laundry. And you can go back in the thing. Okay. Bit of an ordeal. But we're not in a hurry tonight. We're not in a hurry. And we're gonna let this sit for a sec before we add the starch. Okay, so any questions on wringing the potatoes? So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna tip this potato, already the starch is setting on the bottom. Just gonna tip this into a measuring cup. Now this is gonna take a few minutes to settle, but then we'll be able to pour off the potato water and recapture the starch. Okay, time for a quick cleanup. That's a good question, Serena. How would I do that? Can I think about that for a sec? I mean, anything that you could roll, I mean, how would you do that? You could roll them in the paper towel, put them in a sheet pan and just stand on them and squish it out with your body weight. But it is going to, yeah, no, I know they need to be dry ball. It is going to require a fair amount of some kind of force to get the water out of the potatoes. So that's a good question. I'm going to think about that a little bit more. But if anybody has a suggestion, throw it in the chat. Like, nothing immediately springs to mind other than just standing on them, which would be fine. I mean, obviously, like, not your bare feet. You're not making wine. Okay, and again, we have other ingredients. We have eggs. So over here we have sour cream and applesauce for later. And we are going to fry these in, yeah, salt and thyme would do it too, I think. I think you could do it like I do, like my coleslaw or zucchini. Just toss it with salt, yes, and then rinse it. Although, you know what you do want, we're going to salt these anyway. So, and it doesn't take a lot of salt to activate that drying. So maybe just salting them in a colander, like in a colander over a bowl, would do it. And you would still be able to capture the liquid. You'd still be able to capture the starch. I think Rebecca's got it. I think that might be the best way. Okay, so we do have to wait a couple of minutes for this to settle. So we're going to talk about one of the other ingredients that's important, which is the oil. Now, he's going to stick to, yeah, there we go. We're going to add a couple eggs in there. Traditionally, so latkes are a traditional Hanukkah holiday dish to make. And Hanukkah, of course, is all about is 8 days because of the second miracle of the menorah, and the Torah says that pretty sure the Torah says that the menorah should be lit with olive oil, purified olive oil, which is a big deal. And with all due respect to the scholars, we're not going to use olive oil because, and this is the one particular case where we need to get the oil pretty hot, hotter than the smoke point of olive oil. So we're going to use peanut oil. But yes, olive oil would be traditional. I'm sure everybody knows the story of when the Jewish people kicked the Syrians out of Jerusalem. I'm pretty sure they came back to rededicate the temple, and to rededicate the temple, they needed to light the menorah and keep it going. And when they showed up, they found that the Syrians had defiled all of the oil, and there was only one cruise, I think it's called, one cruise left, so enough to light the menorah for one day, which wasn't going to fly. So, and the returning army, the Maccabees, to purify more oil, you have to be pure yourself. And they were a returning army, and they had touched dead bodies, and so they weren't pure. And the purification process to re-purify yourself so they could purify the oil takes 7 days. So they had this 7-day gap where they couldn't make any more oil. And the first miracle is they booted the Syrians, great. And the second miracle is the one cruise of oil burned for an additional 7 days, and by then they could make more oil and keep it going. Latkes are wrapped in controversy, because the other controversy is, why is Hanukkah 8 days? Because technically the miracle part's only 7, right? Like they already had the first day. So the fact that they got an extra 7 is only 7 days of miracle. And scholars have kicked this around for a long time, and they just a few years ago released a paper where there was over 1,000 different answers presented as to why Hanukkah was 8 days and the miracle was 8 days. And the long and short of it is, nobody really knows, but it's a great tradition, and it's an extra day of holiday, so who's complaining? But we're still not going to use olive oil, okay? Purified or not, I'm not a Maccabee, I've never been to war. I just know that peanut oil is going to be better for this. So there you go. Any questions on that? Which is kind of went off on a tangent there, but it's all coming back to me, right? Okay, let's see how our starch is doing. And we're doing okay. I'm gonna give that a few more minutes. So let's well, I mean, me either, really. Like, but I mean, Paul will tell you. You start to learn. You start to learn the holidays. You start to learn the traditions. It's all part of it, right? I haven't actually thought about that in a long time. So there we go. Okay, so we are going to add two eggs. My camera has sagged huge. Sorry guys, just all over the place tonight. I don't know if I can fix that right now. It'll be good enough. I'm just going to work forward a bit. Okay, so 2 eggs. That's 1, 2, and we want a generous pinch of salt. Generous 3 pinches, and pepper to taste. I'm going to use pretty much all that I have left in here. I don't need to grind more, but you want them, decently well seasoned. And we're going to mix this up with a spatula. I don't want to dig my hands into this. And then we're going to add the starch in just a sec. And having said I wasn't going to put flour in, I'm actually concerned now that I'm not going to have enough, because these potatoes didn't shed a lot of liquid. And now I'm concerned I'm not going to have enough binder to hold these together. It has been a while since I've done this. They look pretty good though. Okay, what do you guys think? Seems okay. Let me pour this off and see how much starch we have here. Just have a wee bit. Not what I was hoping for, guys. I actually have potato starch somewhere in this kitchen, but I'm not going to go looking for it now because I didn't think I would need it. I'm going to skip the flour. You guys have to forgive me, we're going to, Rebecca, yeah, sorry, I do have potato starch. I just don't know where. I'm not going to go digging through the cupboards right now, so. Yeah, I gotta fix this. Can I fix this camera tonight? Sorry, guys. It's driving me crazy. Oh, now I'm making a mess. Should not have messed with the camera. Well, that's made it much worse. Okay, I'm just gonna live with it. Good enough. Hang on, guys. How's that? There we go. Good enough for government work. Okay, feeling a little bit better about that. It was an evening of technical issues. How's the sound, by the way? Is the sound any better tonight? I've got the mic like right here now, so I've got my fingers crossed that this works out better. Okay, so this is ready to go, and it's moving. Yeah, it'll settle down in a sec. It's moving because the whole C-stand is moving. So, awesome doing it live, eh? This is the one thing that, like, I don't really envy the other YouTube content creators sometimes, but they don't have to, like, they don't do stuff live, right? They can edit and make everything, like, seamless and wonderful, and I'm doing it this way, which I love. Like, I wouldn't do it any other way. Okay, well, we are ripping through this. It's only 7:30. Let's get this going. So I got my cast iron pan here. You can use whatever pan you want. I like cast iron for this because it retains heat quite well. This is a pretty deep pan, and since we're frying with oil, that's a bit of an advantage. And you don't be shy with your oil here. You want a good slug in here. You want this like nearly half an inch deep. Ooh, hot. Not quite deep enough. There you go. Now, we want this, and you'll see, actually you guys are gonna get a good view. We want this to heat up to the point where it's shimmering but not smoking. So it's gonna take a sec, and we'll even take the oil temperature here. If you don't have one of these, talked about this a million times, you need one. Okay, yeah, that's gonna take a little bit of time. So any questions? Seems very straightforward tonight, doesn't it? I forget who requested this, actually, but thank you for doing that. This is always a fun thing to make. I had Sabrina's partner Spencer coaching me on mic setups and everything. So I haven't perfected it yet, but it was Serena. Excellent. Okay, great. I haven't perfected the mic setup, but I'm happy with the way it's going tonight, and hopefully it all works out. Oh, my thermometer just might be time for a new battery for this. This is a very old thermometer. I've had this a very long time, and you guys can't see the back side of it, but it's all taped together where the battery goes, and a lot of history. It's a good thermometer though. We got a little bit of bubbling going here, but not quite there yet. So I didn't even tell you guys the oil temperature. We're shooting for like around 350 degrees, so quite hot. And olive oil smokes around 400, but olive oil is just the wrong flavor for this. Just a neutral oil is what you want. Now, the trick is going to be ladling in. You kind of want to put a ball in the oil and then flatten it with a spatula, which we're going to use this. Should work okay. And I'm going to do these just a few at a time here. So you don't want to crowd your latkes. I mean, you could do like maybe 5 in this pan. I'm not going to. I'm just going to do a couple as we go. And I feel like oil temperature is good. I'm going to turn it down just a bit. This is the exciting part, so wish me luck here, guys. And you just want kind of like a blob like this. Yeah, that's perfect. So if you guys can see, maybe I'll just do like a couple. But you can see that bubbling around the latke. That tells you your oil is pretty much at exactly the right temperature. I think I'm just going to do 2 of these at a time. Yeah, these look great. Okay. It's about 3 minutes aside, depending on your oil temperature, but 3 minutes is pretty much about right. One of these is different. Any other questions? All right then. I'm checking the oil might be a little bit hot even. Yeah, oil's getting a little bit hot, so adjust the heat down a bit. Yes, Serena, you're right. Peanut oil. Rebecca, okay, let me do Serena first. Peanut oil does taste slightly of peanuts. I like that flavor. It's very, very mild. I still consider peanut oil to be a neutral oil. If you don't like the taste of peanut oil, canola or vegetable would be just fine here. You know, I mean, the most neutral of all the oils would be grapeseed oil, but it's kind of overkill. Like it's expensive to fry, like to do frying like this and this much. I think this guy needs to be flipped actually. Yeah. To fry in this much grapeseed oil would be a lot. Like it would be expensive. If you really wanted a true neutral oil, I would use like canola. It looks great though. So these are cooking a little faster than I anticipated, and as always, guys, like no, that's not what I want. When you're cooking with oil, like be careful flipping things and splashing. This is really hot oil, and while it's a bit of a meme on this channel that I'm touching things that are hot, this is not something you want to mess around with. Hot oil can burn you, when it's this hot, can burn you quite badly very, very quickly. So I figure 3 minutes in the other side and these will be done, and then I'm going to start up another batch. Serena's going to put in the chat in a second whether she wants applesauce or sour cream or both, or I can put it on the side and she can decide for herself. Now I think my oil's gone down too low. Okay, I'm coming with those. Oh, come on. My poor thermometer here. There we go. How are we doing? So this is a good lesson for me too, because I haven't. This is the first time I've cooked with oil in this pan with this burner. So I'm getting a good education for myself. And as I said, always said, pay attention to what goes on in your kitchen. Pay attention to the sounds of what's going around you and the smells. It will tell you everything you need to know about what's going on. So, for example, I can hear the latkes cooking in the oil. I can hear the flame on the burner. It gives me a rough idea without looking at what level it's at. And then the more you do things, it becomes like not a sixth sense, but something you just pay attention to, like on the periphery of your consciousness, and you'll get clued in right away when something's not going right. Okay, I feel like we can get the plates out of the oven though. Focus on that plate. I think we're doing okay here. This one looks good. I'm going to flip him back for a second. So you want these to be cooked like kind of just like French fries. You want them crispy on the outside with that sort of molten potato inside. I'm going to let these go the full minute that's left, and then we're going to do 2 more. Probably could have done 4, eh? It would have been smarter. I think what we'll do is I'm going to put one on a plate for Serena, keep one for a taste test, and we'll drop 2 more right away and see how it goes. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Careful with the oil. You guys can see everything okay? Looks good, eh? All right, and I'm gonna put this on the side for Serena. Ooh, that is hot. You know, Paul's got poker tonight, so that he drops by to tell me to put plates in the oven and then buggers off while I burn myself on them after. However, such is life. Okay, so let me get one of these out to Serena. I'll keep one here. I think this is going to be the Serena one. This is a nice crisp one. This one we're going to keep here for a sec. Now, one sec guys, I'll be right back. Hot. Okay, everybody still with me? Let's put in 2 more because I think these look good and I'm hungry. So I'm gonna just get another 2 going here. I'm definitely, yes, Serena, it's very hot. Definitely going to be cleaning oil off my camera after the stream. Okay, let's do a taste test here. Now I like. Why is everything so hot tonight? Okay, this is not hot. I'm steaming up my camera here. Okay, guys, give me a sec. I'm gonna move this off to the side since you guys have seen the show, so that it's not like steaming up the food cam. Although I guess it's too late. Oh well. Here, you know what? Let's go back. There we go. Hi guys. Let's try the Latkes. Although you know what, you can't like see the crispiness. Oh no, it's hard to see. I hope you guys can hear that. Got a nice crunch on the outside. Hot. And that's pretty much the way I remember them, guys. Looks really good. I forgot to mention another bit of controversy over these, and it's kind of like raisins and butter tarts. Some people don't put, like putting onions in is, some people do, some people don't. I like it, but if onions aren't your thing, it's not wrong to do them without onions, depending on who you ask. That was really dumb, guys. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I guess the end of the spoon was in the flame when I went into the other room. That spoon is very, very hot. Anyway, I'm thrilled with the way these turned out. I'm glad I'm making more. And they taste great. They're really, really good. I want Serena to report on hers. So the one I took to Serena was thicker, which I have a feeling might be a bit better. This one is good. It's not as molten in the middle as I want. Oh, really good. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm taking some questions here while the camera defogs. Any questions about anything we've done so far? Yeah, I agree with Serena. I know applesauce is also traditional.
But we could try roasty. Maybe I could time travel it. I'm definitely in the Serena camp when it comes to sour cream versus applesauce. But just for you guys, we'll do a little applesauce taste test. Okay. You know what? The applesauce is pretty good too. It's a much different flavor. This applesauce I got, this isn't like Allen's or whatever. It's no sugar added from Farm Boy. Organic, I guess. So it's not quite as sweet as I was expecting. I kind of like it. So that's it, guys. We have done the traditional latkes. That's how I do it. To recap the variations, onions are not, wet or not, and I do think it's right to drain them. However you do it, it's definitely right to drain them. Some people don't, but I think it's right. And what else do we have there? Adding flour or not as a binder, and I don't think you need to. Like, we didn't actually, we didn't get a lot of starch out of our potatoes. And the times I've done this before, after letting, maybe I didn't let it settle long enough, but the times I've done it before, letting it settle, you have a good slurry of potato starch, which is all the binder I've ever needed. And even without having a lot of it, these held together just fine. So I'm not a big fan of using flour to thicken or crisp things if it's unnecessary. So I would say no to flour, but it's up to you. And I kind of think that's it. Now, I've seen a few recipes kicking around too, where they add parsley. For example, Cook's Illustrated, which I'm normally a fan of their recipes. Let me just, actually, Serena, if you want to come out, I'll just put one of these on your plate rather than run it in. Let me just give me 1 second. So, there we go. There you go. Get my sour cream. Okay. Cook's Illustrated, for example, puts parsley in there. And I saw a couple of other, like Bon Appetit puts parsley in theirs too. Now, parsley is often subbed in for haroset, the bitter herb. But that's the wrong holiday. And it's just weird. I don't know. Like, if you're a huge parsley fan, you can try it out. I'm not ever going to put parsley in mine, but I just want to let you know it's out there. So there you go. Anyway, this one also looks, let me show you the inside too. Let's take this shut down. So let's just like cut into this guy so you can see. And it's perfect. It's like nice and crispy on the outside. It's got that gooey, molten potato inside. This looks really hot. I can't, even I'm not going to try that yet. Maybe. Maybe I'll try like a little bit of it. Hot, but good. Okay, so oil is off. Wow, this is really, actually, you know what, the second batch, guys? Even better. Oh, I almost forgot one thing. So I shredded these on a box grater. And you can do them in a food processor. I have seen, and it's not wrong, I have seen people then take the shreds and put them in the food processor and like give them a couple pulses and make them even finer. And that also makes a nice, it makes a more consistent pancake. You guys can obviously see that I've got all these like crackly potato strands around the edges. I really like that look. But some people really like a more consistent, a finer latke, as it were. So that you can do that as well. So I think we covered all the basics. And that's kind of it. I'm going to stick around for a couple of questions. I'm definitely going to eat more latkes. Yeah. I'm a fan. I don't know that you could deep fry these. I toyed with that idea of doing them like, you can make a smaller ball and do it like onion bhaji. You know, the Indian deep fried onion balls. This is the traditional way, and I'm going to stick with it for now, but that would definitely be something you could do or try or experiment with, which I might actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Let's spend a little bit of time. Let's talk about next week. I have some ideas for next week, but I'm open to suggestions. Hey, Paul, aren't you supposed to be playing poker? And Paul, they are good. They're really, really good. I think I'll come out and make these guys for you guys. Okay, well, we're almost done here, so have a fantastic time playing poker. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which gives you pretty much free reign at the poker table. And we're talking about next week, though. So, as you know, my focus has been over the last little bit. Okay, well, you may have a latke off, Paul. You know, although, you know what, I don't think I can compete with Janice. Or you, for that matter. Like, I haven't done this in a while, and I'm thrilled with the way these turned out, but I'm sure Janice has some tricks up her sleeve. In any case, I'm still in the food, street food kick. Even more so now that it's summer, and I'm driving by patios, and I was down in St. Lawrence Market the other week taking some pictures, and just, it's overwhelming. They have food stalls and taco stands, and I'm just like, wow, I want to do all of that stuff. I also want to do Italian, as you know. That's been really great, and I have some recipes I want to do for that. And I'm open to suggestions. So I am going to wait 2 minutes for suggestions. Otherwise, I'll dream up something for next week. Yeah, you know what, Paul, though? I don't have anything in my fridge. I've really gotten to the point with my cooking, like, so I like to, I can actually flip back to the other camera, I'm just talking to you guys. I like, looking at a video reflection of yourself is completely the opposite of a mirror. And you're so used to looking at a mirror that when you go to brush something off or do anything, when you're looking at a video screen, of course, it's reversed. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I understand that, Paul, but I don't, like, I've gotten into the habit now of just shopping every day for food, for fresh ingredients, that I don't really have anything in my fridge, which is kind of the way I like it, because I don't ever have to worry about stuff spoiling. Normally, and I'm not going to do it on stream, but I'll tell you now that I normally have Japanese curry blocks I can answer your question right now, Paul. I normally have Japanese curry blocks in the cupboard. And when I want to use up stuff out of the fridge, I make some rice, I chop up everything in the fridge, and I make a Japanese curry with it, whether it's veggies, protein, whatever I've got going. It all goes in this amazing gravy. And the Japanese curry blocks, you can buy them anywhere. Don't buy the S&B brand. I don't like those. But every supermarket has Vermont curry blocks in the Asian food section. And Vermont has nothing to do with Vermont, the state. I don't know why they picked that name, but the Vermont curry blocks are great. They come mild, medium, hot, and the hot isn't even hot. And it just makes a fantastic gravy. It's a yummy comfort food thing. It's super easy to throw together. Okay, that's a pretty good idea, Serena. Let me think about that. You know what maybe we'll do for the spice rack dive? We could do pakoras. So a pakora is actually a lot similar to... actually, that's also good. Okay, I'm going to combine Serena's idea and Paul's idea. And we are going to do... Man, 3? Okay, we're going to do 3 simple dishes that you can throw together either with what's in your fridge, well, probably what's in your fridge, not what's in mine, and some simple spices. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. That'll give me a project to work on over the course of the week. So stay tuned next week for simple spice dishes with simple ingredients that are simple to make, simple cubed, and we'll do it next week. So, all right, guys, I have hot latkes, which I'm going to eat, and a cold Caesar, which I'm going to drink. Everybody have an amazing night. Love doing this for you guys. Have a fantastic week. I'm off to New Brunswick this weekend for complicated reasons, but I will see everybody next Wednesday. Paul, I want you to win tonight. Also, just for Paul, play your sets fast. Don't ever slow play a set. You flop a set, put the hammer down. All right, guys, have an amazing night. We'll talk to you soon.